Hey, it's Mayo. Fun facts about me. I am a born and raised California girl, and I have spent much of my life, a large portion of my life actually, in swimwear. Pretty much every summer of my entire life, I live by the pool in bikinis, and that's just my life. Crafting has been a part of my life forever. It was definitely something that kept me occupied during my years of chronic illness, and this little crafting project is something that I did in this time that I've been kind of taking off, and I thought I would share because crafting is part of my life, plus it's summertime, so this is on season, and yeah. This little sewing project was super easy. It only took me 30 minutes and it cost me $0 because I already had all of the materials on hand. I do know how to sew, but I really just know the basics. I'm not like a super experienced fancy sewer. I just know the basics. I think any beginner could handle this sewing project. So basically I got the idea for this because I was online looking at bikinis and I didn't really love any, and then internally I was like, ugh, I already have so many bikinis, like I really should just wear those. I should make those work. I don't need to buy more. But part of the reason that I was looking at new bikinis is because some of my older bikinis aren't really the style that I prefer. In the past, I really liked triangle bikinis and regular bikini bottoms, and now I prefer bandeau or strapless bikinis and cheeky or thong bottoms. And so I have a whole bunch of triangle bikinis that I don't really wear anymore because they're not really my style, and also some of the elastic is really worn out. But the fabric is still in good shape. They're still really cute bikinis, and for a long time I felt like I wish I could just alter these and still wear them. So I went to Pinterest and I went to YouTube and I looked at a couple different blogs maybe, and I looked at tutorials and got some ideas, and then I just went for it. I just kind of winged it because I'm not wearing these bikinis anyway, and I was like, well, might as well, you know, give it a try. This is an old bikini of mine that I had years ago. I wore it a lot. It was cute then, it is still cute now, but the bottoms are stretched out because I wore them a lot. The elastic is also completely shot, but it doesn't really matter because, as you can see, it is a tie bikini with strings, so I can still make it fit. The material was still in good shape though, and it's still really cute, so I was like, oh, you know, see if I can salvage this. So I grabbed a pair of bikini bottoms that I really like, and they fit well, and then I traced those over the green bikini bottoms to get that new shape. I also just used a black Crayola pencil because that's what was in front of me, and it worked just fine. You don't have to buy fancy tools to do this. Just use whatever's in front of you. The bikini that I traced, the pink patterned one, is a totally different style, totally different shape. I had no intentions to scrunch the bottom of the green ones, but it still worked just fine. You can trace any bottoms that you like the shape of and it should work. The important thing is that you really line it up as straight as possible and get the tracing as perfect as you can, because then you won't have to fix anything later. Once I traced the new shape, I grabbed some regular old scissors and I cut out the shape that I traced. Then I folded the bikini in half and I pinned it loosely just to make sure that it was cut symmetrically. I wanted both sides to line up evenly. Also, don't judge me on how I put the pins in. I did try to put them in normally, but the slippery fabric just was not working with it, and I wanted to get this done quickly, so I pinned it weirdly, and don't judge me. It worked. After I got it lined up nice and straight, I then cut a few edges that were hanging over and they weren't perfectly symmetrical to the other side, but I double checked, got it all symmetrical. And then I tried on the bottoms to make sure that I liked the cut and to see if I wanted to cut it a little bit cheekier or leave it as is. But I liked it, so I left it. Then I sewed the edges. I didn't do a great job of showing it here, but I didn't pin the edges of the fabric. I just eyeballed it and went for it. I folded the edge about 1/4 inch and I sewed over it. I did a basic zigzag stitch on my machine too, so the fabric would still be able to stretch. And for sure, that is absolutely crucial. You have to use a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch. And any machine should have the setting for that. Look in your manual, look on the front of it, figure it out. You have a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch, I promise. But you definitely want to use that so your fabric is still stretchy. I made sure that the fabric was totally flat since I didn't pin it, and then I did the exact same thing to the other side. Rolled over about 1/4 inch, sewed over it with a zigzag stitch, I did still have the extra fabric attached in the crotch because honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it or how I was going to finish that area yet. But I ended up cutting it off at an angle, and then I sewed over it in the same way that I did the rest. Just a 1/4 inch fold and a zigzag stitch. It's not perfectly blended, it's a little bit crooked, but it's right in the crotch so it doesn't show at all, and literally no one will ever know. I then cut off the extra fabric and I flicked out the dry elastic that was in the seam. I also cut off the threads that were there from sewing it together. Lastly, I went around the inner seam and I just cut off some of the excess fabric. I was super careful not to cut through any of my edges at all because that would suck. I just cleaned it up a little bit and then called it good enough. To anyone else, it looks like a normal bikini, and the new edges on the back of the bikini really aren't noticeable and they look like they match to the front. I did happen to have thread that matched the color pretty dang well too, so that was just a lucky coincidence. So that's what it looked like after. It looks the same, just with cheekier bottoms. Another cool way to make an old bikini look new is to tie the top in a different way. The end is how I will be wearing it now. Like I said, I now prefer strapless bikini tops and cheeky bottoms or thongs, and now that I tried this out, I can alter my other old bikinis and make them like new so I can wear them again. I'm super glad that I gave this a try. I'm really excited to try it with my other bikinis. I just think it's really great to be able to repurpose and reuse things when possible. It's a cool thing. By the way, this is what the bottom looks like. As I told you, the seam is a little wonky, but it's like literally no one will know. You can't tell. Who cares? Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you want to come back for more. Head over to my channel and all of my playlists to check out what other kind of content I have. I will be sure to record and share if I alter my other bikinis or other clothes. Crafting is a part of my life and I'll share about it more. Happy summer, dudes! Happy summer.